fears that we may see a second wave of COVID-19.
And we may be seeing a shift in how we go out and see movies. More on that story later in the show.
The World Series is underway here in Arlington, but no Rangers players are in sight.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Jordan Miller.
And I'm Blake Weiland. The last time this happened, it took a world war. This time, it took a global pandemic. The World Series is about to get underway at a neutral location with a Texas twist. Michelle Brooks is live in Arlington with more. Michelle?
Thanks, Blake. The first game of the World Series between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Los Angeles Dodgers starts here at Globe Life Field in just over an hour. And it's no surprise, no matter which team hoists the Commissioner's Trophy, this series has already made history. For the first time in the MLB's over 100-year history, the World Series is being played at a neutral site and is the first playoff series to be played in only one stadium since 1944. The MLB has operated in a modified bubble format for this year's playoffs, with the NL Championship Series being played here in Arlington and the AL Championship Series being played in San Diego. The MLB made about 11,500 tickets available per game, which is 28.5% of Globe Life Field's total capacity. Last year's World Series generated $6.5 million for winning city Washington, D.C., and even though this year's series won't generate as much money for the area, Arlington Mayor Jeff Williams insists the boost in morale for the area makes it worth it, saying, "We can't sit here and tell you what the economic impact will be, but it is going to be a great boost for all of us to be able to see playoff baseball and World Series happen." I'll have more on the game later in the show, but for now, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Michelle. Let's hope the weather stays nice for the World Series. Here in Denton, it's been pretty warm, and it makes me wish we had some cooler weather.
Can't agree more, Jordan. Let's go to Andrew Fancher to find out more about the weather. Andrew?
Well, Blake, before we jump into our Denton forecast, let's take a look at current temperatures over Globe Life Field there in Arlington. As you can see, we have some 85-degree temperatures that feel like 86. Now, the temperatures will only go down as the afternoon continues. We have a 12 mile an hour wind speed from the southeast that hopefully won't affect that 7:11 p.m. opening pitch. Now, as we go to Denton, we can see our current forecast here. 84 degrees, feels like 87, and we have that same southeast wind speed that's affecting Arlington right now. Now, as we move into tonight's conditions, we will see temperatures dip just a little bit, come 72 degrees, that's at 11 o'clock. We'll see that. Feels like 73, and a soft wind speed of 8 miles per hour. Now, sadly, that cool temperature will not go over into tomorrow's forecast because we'll see some 83-degree temperatures around 3 o'clock, 3 to 6 o'clock. We'll see that. The sun will come out briefly, but for the most part, just clouds. Now, I'll have more later in the forecast, but as for now, back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. The great weather here in North Texas has certainly made standing in voting lines more tolerable, and some of those lines have been long. Voters are turning out in record numbers across the state, and Denton County is no exception. Nearly 33% of all registered voters in Denton County have already cast their ballots. In Tarrant County, 25% of registered voters have been to the polls, while in Dallas County, that figure is about 24%. Denton County has 46 early voting sites open, including one on the UNT campus.
One big issue concerning voters in this election is the COVID-19 pandemic and its human and economic impact. Medical experts are now warning that the cooler fall temperatures plus the reopening of businesses are fueling a surge in cases and hospitalizations. CNN's Camilla Bernal has more.
COVID-19 numbers once again climbing back up across the country.
The numbers are moving in the wrong direction.
The U.S. has now topped 220,000 COVID deaths, a number some experts worry may also begin to climb faster.
At the very least, assume everyone you come in contact with is asymptomatically infected and contagious. Assume that, and then wear masks and social distance.
Hospitalizations also on the rise, with at least 14 states reporting peak hospitalization numbers in the last week. and it could get worse.
Over the next 5 or 6 months, I think up through February or March of next year, we are heading into the worst part of this pandemic for this country.
And as the holidays approach, many doctors asking people to be extra careful.
Avoiding large gatherings of families because we've seen a lot of family transmission.
Meanwhile, the NIH director says we may have to wait longer for a vaccine.
I would think it's very unlikely, given the timetables and the standards that have to be followed, that you will hear about an emergency use authorization before late November at the earliest.
But even once a vaccine is available, public trust remains a question.
Public health entirely hinges on public trust, and specifically trust in our top government scientists.
I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
You know, Jordan, there is concern that one cause for the increase in COVID cases here is the reopening of some businesses, especially the bars.
The issue of social distancing and wearing masks has been the big question. And with the spike in cases, many people are wondering if that decision may be reversed. ntTV's Kayla Holt has more. Kayla?
That's right. Your favorite bar might be reopened in North Texas, but the question is, for how long? Governor Greg Abbott recently allowed bars to reopen to 50% capacity if county hospitals could keep the rate to 15%. Denton County Public COVID-related hospitalization rate was at about 7% when the governor made his announcement, but the rate has recently increased to 13%. This news may be concerning to bar owners and local hospital officials as the COVID hospitalization rate is rapidly growing. Governor Greg Abbott states that as bars and similar businesses begin to open, we all must remain vigilant and show personal responsibility. Denton Public Health Director Matt Richardson recommends that if you do go to a bar, practice social distancing and minimize time spent with others. For ntTV News, I'm Kayla Holt. Back to you, Jordan.
For those that prefer the movie theater as opposed to the bar scene, you may be in trouble. AMC, the world's largest movie theater chain, says it could run out of money by the end of the year due to the pandemic. Mandy Gaither has more.
Beginning October 23, movie theaters outside of New York City will be allowed to reopen at 25% capacity with up to 50 people maximum per screen.
From state shutdowns to uneasy customers, the movie theater industry is feeling the pinch from the pandemic. Since shutting their doors in March, theaters have tried to reopen with health measures meant to help curb the virus's spread. Yet the industry hasn't been able to get back on its feet. AMC, the world's largest movie theater chain, has had an attendance decline of 85% compared to last year. AMC announced this month its existing cash resources would be largely depleted by the end of this year because of the reduced movie slate for the fourth quarter. Major films like the new James Bond have been pushed to next year, and others like Disney's Mulan skip theaters altogether, going straight to digital. Cineworld Group, the owner of Regal Cinemas, suspended operations of all its U.S. and United Kingdom theaters this month, affecting 45,000 employees. AMC said it has two ways out of its cash crisis. Either more customers need to buy tickets, or it will have to find new ways to borrow money. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mandy Gaither.
For it to regain some financial losses, AMC is offering to rent out entire auditoriums for $99. Check out AMC's website for more details on that.
When we come back, we will learn about a new helpful robot with a sweet tooth.
And we will hear about a touching reunion for two Denton residents.
Drinking alcohol is often a question for college students. The UNT Police Department is helping students get a better understanding of how much can be too much. ntTV reporter Michaela Goose is here to tell us just how to stay safe while drinking.
Thanks, Blake. Yeah, this week is National Collegiate Alcohol Awareness Week. There are some things to remember if you are a college student who chooses to drink alcohol. Now, 1,825 college students aged 18 to 24 die per year due to alcohol-related injuries, including motor vehicle accidents. Roughly 1 in 4 college students report academic consequences from drinking, including missing class, doing poorly on exams and papers, and lower grades overall. About 20% of college students meet the criteria for alcohol use disorder. Now, an easy way to accidentally overindulge is not knowing how much you're drinking. An easy way to remember is to look at your red Solo cup. As you can see in this graphic by the UNT Police Department, the lines on a red Solo cup equal 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, and 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Now, another thing to remember, and that is very important, is how to recognize the signs of alcohol overdose. Now, these symptoms are mental confusion, or the person cannot be woken up, vomiting, slow or irregular breathing, and bluish or pale skin. Now, above all, don't forget to be safe and be responsible. Never drink and drive, and always make sure you watch just how much you are drinking. Back to you guys in studio.
Well, it may not come from Amazon, but Christmas lovers should be receiving a special delivery this holiday season. It's almost Christmas time, and the home improvement chain Lowe's is offering Christmas tree deliveries. Starting at the end of October, customers can order fresh cut trees and wreaths online or in store and have them delivered within 2 to 5 days. If the order is over $45, the delivery is free. This is a part of the company's plan to revamp its yearly holiday sales event. Lowe's is hoping to make up for the decreased amount of in-store shoppers due to COVID-19 restrictions. Neighborhoods are getting a spooky surprise at their doorstep. The COVID-19 pandemic is causing many communities to rethink the way they celebrate Halloween. Reese's is launching a 9-foot robot that is designed to deliver candy to each doorstep. It's called the Reese's Trick or Treat Door. The remote-controlled door comes with smoke, Halloween lights, and a spooky soundtrack. Just say trick or treat, and the robot gives you a king-size package of Reese's Pieces Buttercups. You can request the Reese's Trick or Treat Door to come to your city by messaging Reese's on Instagram.
With fall settling in, I hope we can finally get some of that cooler weather. Wouldn't you agree, Blake?
I completely agree, Jordan. The summer heat's starting to get old, and I think we could use some nicer weather. Andrew, do you have any good news for us?
Well, Blake, I too would like some cooler temperatures, but I don't think we're going to get any of that today or for a few days. Because if you look at our current temperatures across the area, you'll see that there's no temperatures below 83, such as McKinney, or above 86, such as Sulphur Springs. Now, as we look across the state, you will see some variations in temperatures. 85 in El Paso, and here's the headline: it's actually cooler in Houston, just by a degree, but it's still cooler. Now, the coolest temperature you see in this area is, of course, 74 degrees in Oklahoma City, but if you're not going to WinStar, then that's not going to affect you. I have saved the best for last, and that is our 7-day forecast, because if you look here, you will see that it does get a little bit cooler come nighttime every day of the week. I would say that the highlight is probably Friday, when it gets 46 degrees come nighttime, no sunshine throughout the 7-day forecast, and I'll have some more next Tuesday, some cooler temperatures, cold front coming in, but for now, back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Andrew. In March, assisted living facilities stopped allowing visitors. Last month, Governor Greg Abbott allowed limited visitations at facilities. ntTV's Lenoshka Rodriguez met with a mom who was finally able to see her son.
Imagine one day telling your special needs family member you'll see them tomorrow, and the next day you get a call saying you can't visit the facility until further notice. You don't even get a chance to say goodbye or to try and explain to them why you won't be able to visit anymore. That was the reality for countless families with loved ones in assisted care facilities when the COVID-19 pandemic hit.
It wasn't just the families that were taken away from their life. They normally went to programs. They went to the gym. It's 189 acres. They have beautiful parks. They had life skills programs. All that was taken away on March 13th as well.
Even though residents at many of the facility centers are now allowed 2 essential caregivers to visit them in person, Stephanie Kirby, a North Texas mother, had to wait about 200 days to see her special needs son Petrie, who lives at Denton State Supporting Living Center. Since Petrie functions on a level of about a 3-year-old, he didn't understand why his mother just stopped visiting him for 6 months. This caused him to emotionally and physically regress and lose interest in his favorite things.
By the second month I needed to see him so bad, we did a FaceTime. He heard my voice. He couldn't focus on the little screen. He was looking around the room for me and started screaming and crying and banging his head because he couldn't understand. I'm hearing mom's voice and I can't find her. It was horrible. It was terrible.
Since the new guidelines were established, his mother has been trying her best to help him recover and get back to his old self.
Seeing him once or so a week is not back to the essential caregiver. And what Petre in his personal situation needs is to see mom going to be consistent again, not just pop in and out. I need to regain his trust. That's what I feel like. Why should he believe that I won't just disappear again?
To accomplish being heard, she wrote 100 letters to Governor Greg Abbott in order to advocate for the caregiver program. She also spent months pleading with state representatives to be able to see Petrie.
Seeing him and being part of his life is not a once, maybe twice a week thing.
As days pass, all she can do is prove to Petrie she will always do her best to be at his side, even when it may seem impossible. Linoshka Rodriguez, ntTV News.
When we come back, find out about a spooky attraction just up the road.
Look at a local landmark on this week's Seen and Heard. Halloween is right around the corner, and it is certain to look a little bit different this year. Because of the virus, parties and trick-or-treating might be off the table, but you can still get spooky by visiting some of Denton's supposedly haunted buildings.
Denton is home to beautiful buildings and rich history, but the history of certain areas may be darker than you think. With the pandemic halting many normal Halloween activities, why not take yourself on a scavenger hunt to some of Denton's most haunted places?
We may think we know these streets because we walk them every day, but there's much more that we don't know, much more that we can't know.
Goatman's Bridge is one of the most iconic haunted places in Denton. The gruesome story of a lynched goat farmer haunting a local bridge brings many visitors and skeptics.
There's always been long-standing tales about the goat man. There's been plenty of reports of lots of supernatural activity. People will see glowing eyes, they'll hear hooves in the darkness. There's also reports of just lots of super strange activity, sounds and things.
To draw out the goat man, locals have a long-standing creepy tradition that supposedly increases your chances of glimpsing the ghost himself.
If you go to the bridge and you knock 3 times on the metal trusses of the bridge, that supposedly summons the goat man.
The bridge isn't the only haunted place you can visit in Denton. A little closer to home and much bigger is the courthouse on the square.
Downstairs where the old holding cells were, that there's some presence that lurks down there.
With John B. Denton's gravesite right nearby, the courthouse is said to house many spirits, and sometimes people are even able to see them.
When I would lead the tours on the, around the courthouse square there, every so often someone would say, I saw something up in the bell tower, right? I saw something moving around up there.
Sean says he tells these intriguing stories because even if the ghosts aren't real, what they represent can be a helpful reminder of the past.
They help to remind us of things that we've maybe forgotten too much.
With so many ghosts lurking around Denton, it's hard to feel lonely. And whether you believe in vengeful spirits or not, Denton's history is full of interesting stories and strange places to visit. And who knows, maybe you'll spot a ghost the next time you're on the square.
For more information on what you can look forward to this Halloween in Denton, be sure to tune in to Denton Connection, Friday, October 30th at 6:30.
Thanks, Jordan. If you're looking for something fun and relaxing to do this weekend, then Clyde Warren Park in downtown Dallas might interest you. Jessica Jalal has a story. Jessica?
Thanks, Blake. Now, Clyde Warren Park always has events going on, such as yoga classes, movies, music, and food trucks. There's something for everyone to do, no matter what you're interested in. Take a look.
If you're looking for something fun to do for the whole family, then look no further than Dallas's very own Clyde Warren Park. Located in the heart of downtown Dallas, just over the Woodall Rogers Freeway, the park has many things to do and boasts scenic views in every corner of its 5.2 acres. Social distancing is enforced and hand sanitizers are available all throughout the park.
First thing that I love about Clyde Warren Park is the awesome view. I mean, you can come on a Saturday evening, Sunday evening, any day of the week and just sit down and just enjoy the atmosphere and relax. It's a good family-friendly environment, and it's just a good time to just sit back and just enjoy nature, enjoy what's around you. So I love it so much.
There's always something to do here, from yoga classes on the lawn to dance parties in the park and enjoying Dallas lights after dark. You can also grab a bite to eat at the various delicious food trucks and surrounding restaurants. Or if you're looking to just kick back and relax, you can grab a blanket and lay out. On Saturdays, the park even hosts movie nights on the lawn. You can bring your dogs and children will love it.
My family is in town from Missouri, and I wanted to show them something nice. You know, they have the food trucks and the lawn. Then we have the kids. The kids can run around and play.
Clyde Warren Park is available to the public and open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily.
The park does have public safety officers to ensure visitor safety. I don't know about you guys, but I will have to go back this weekend. That's all I have for Seen and Heard. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jessica. Now, Blake, I know you're going to be excited about this. The World Series is starting today.
I can hardly contain myself. I can't wait for the Dodgers to play the Rays. There is someone who knows a lot about the World Series, and that's ntTV's Michelle Brooks. How's it going, Michelle?
Thanks, guys. That's right. I'm still here in Arlington, and it's getting close to game time. I'll have more on the first game of the World Series after the break.
Looks
game of the World Series is tonight as the Los Angeles Dodgers take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the Atlanta Braves in 7 games, and the Rays beat the Astros in 7 games to advance to the World Series. This is the 20th time the Dodgers have played in the series and the 3rd time in the past 4 years. The Rays have only played in the World Series once. At a neutral site, it could be anyone's game, but for Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw, it's more of a homecoming. Kershaw was raised in Highland Park, where he played baseball and was drafted straight out of high school to the MLB. The first pitch will be thrown at 7:11 p.m. and will be broadcast on Fox. Hopefully a good game will be played tonight because I can't say much for the Cowboys game last night. Prescott is out for the season, so backup quarterback Andy Dalton took over for the team this week. The Cowboys fell to the Arizona Cardinals at home 38-10. Turnover after turnover, multiple Cardinals sacks on Dalton and fumbles from Zeke and drop passes across the board. It was a rough day for Dallas. In an interview today, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones says he was not happy. Quote, "Got to get better. And boy, could I not have said that better myself." But the Cowboys do still sit at the top of a rough NFC East at 2-4, and they're set for an interdivisional game against the Washington football team this Sunday. Hopefully they can pull out a win, considering Washington lost to the Giants last week. Who knows? One thing I'm not unsure about is Mean Green football. For the first time since 2018, the Mean Green won a game on the road against Middle Tennessee. The win came from an unexpected sub in the second quarter. Backup quarterback Jason Bean entered the game after starting quarterback Austin Ani threw 2 interceptions early on. Bean scored 5 touchdowns, 3 of which he ran in. His breakout performance didn't go unnoticed by anyone. Bean was named the Manning Award Star of the Week by Conference USA. It is unknown whether Bean will be moved to the starting spot for the Mean Green next game against UTEP in El Paso on Halloween. That's all I have for sports. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.